All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is kind of a bit of a special session of wall dropping knowledge, and I just thought I would start to kind of break down some news that happened today because I've had several people ask me to really kind of break it down. It should be of note, I'm not an economist, and nothing I'm about to say is to be used for financial advice or anything of that ilk. So that's my disclaimer. I think everybody has to give that disclaimer, but that's my disclaimer. I'm not giving out any financial advice, but I did kind of want to break down what happened. So basically, in a nutshell, there is something called shorting a stock. And that part of it, I am not a hedge fund manager, so I'm not privy to the kind of money required to really get into that game, but to kind of bring it into kind of a small frame, really easily digestible situation is basically, in a nutshell, there is means to bet on a stock or a company going belly up, right? Like you're gambling on a stock going under, right? And so what happens is they'll pick these stocks that they feel like, okay, there's this stock it's on the verge of collapsing, or this company's on the verge of dying out. Let me go ahead and just bet on it, right? So they go ahead and bet on it that it's going to collapse. And when that happens, sometimes or quite often it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because what will happen is the big money movers will start betting on a stock or a company to collapse, and then everybody will get wind of that and they'll go, oh, that's a sign that everybody needs to get out, right? And so what will happen is everybody will sell their stock on this company at the same time, and of course the company will go under. And it should be of note that the value of a company and how much it's worth in the stock market is all guesswork, right? It's all funny money. It's all best guess, right? Like what makes a stock worth $100? The fact that everybody agrees it's worth $100. If everybody decides it's worth $50, then it drops down to $50, right? That's how the stock market works. And it's based on speculation, and it's not tethered to anything, right? So what'll happen is they'll think, okay, so an example of GameStop. They think GameStop is going under, and so they start shorting the stock, right? And so they're about to really cash in on GameStop going under. Well, it turned out a bunch of people that are gamers and really love GameStop, and they're all on Reddit, and Reddit's very popular amongst video game users. They all got together and said, hey, we don't want GameStop going under. We're all going to work together, and where we see that the stock is being shorted, we see the big money movers are bailing out, and so the stock is, even though it's already not good, it's being artificially deflated to try to kill it, right? So what happens is everybody on this Reddit group, they all say, well, let's all work together and let's collude. Basically, it's a form of collusion. Let's all collude together. We're all going to dump our money on GameStop at the exact same time, and it's going to artificially inflate the price, right? The stock market is going to pick up, everybody's buying, and it's going to artificially inflate the price. And you know, I was kind of watching it in real time. They created this group called Wall Street Bets, is what it's called. And so some actually politically or economically savvy people who understood the market and how shorting works and everything, they kind of rallied the troops together, and they all went all in on GameStop. And it drove the stock up through the roof because, again, it's just based on guesswork, and everybody's buying GameStop stock, and so it starts going up, and so it makes this like giant boom. Well, it should be of note that these games that you know, you see this collusion or whatever, that's been happening forever, right? Like the big money movers, they all work together and they all kind of discuss and they decide what stocks to buy and stuff like that. And by the way, a lot of times this happens out in plain view, right? Like, you know, I'm just picking one out of that is probably the most famous, but like Mad Money, for example. You know, a lot of these people have these stocks and they'll have these TV shows, and they'll kind of promote one stock, or they'll shove one stock into the ground, and they'll make money off of it, right? It's all market manipulation, right? If you're going on TV and telling everybody, hey, buy this stock, you're manipulating the market, right? You're making the market rise in value for that stock, right? So what happens is, as this starts happening, it starts driving up GameStop, their stock, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, people are making incredible amounts of money off GameStop, right? There's some guy that was like, he dropped like $7,000 on it. Next thing you know, he's like a millionaire. And so they're just kind of skyrocketing up the stock of GameStop. Well, the problem is the big money hedge fund people, they caught wind of that. And next thing you know, they're out millions of dollars. I think it might even been billions, right? And of course, they're in the process of trying to work out a way to get bailed out. I think I heard Citibank is jumping in, trying to figure out a way to bail them out. So they're in the process of trying to get bailed out. Of course, you see my dogs kind of jumping in and playing with each other. But anyways, to make a long story short, they realized, hey, well, we're making a killing doing this with GameStop. Let's do it with some other ones. I kind of hopped in on it, and they were trading up to really inflate AMC. There's a company. Let me see if I can pull it up. Called it's called Naked Brand Group, and I'll show you kind of the group. It's this group right here. And so they started buying it up and just inflating the value of it, just really skyrocketing. And I'll tell you, this morning when I bought in, I was buying in at 30 cents a share, and in 2 hours it had gotten up over $3 a share. And apps like Robinhood, which is really the app that everybody was using, they have a lot of people that were shorting stock, and they were starting to lose money. And so what happened is Robinhood decided, you know what, we're going to shut it down. We're going to give everybody back the money they invested in it. And we're going to shut it all down. You can't even trade that stock. So AMC and this Naked Brand, they just shut it down. There was a whole list of them. There's like 8 different stocks that everybody's moving. Now, if you go to the app, they won't even name the stock anymore. They'll say like NAK and then the money sign or something like that. Or instead of AMC, it's like Money MC. And they just shut it down. And so, here I am. I'm sitting there, and like within 2 hours, I put $100 in, and I'd made almost $1,000 in 2 hours. And next thing I know, they just shut it down left and right. And I got my $100 back, but none of the money I'd made off of it. And I don't know what's going to end up happening. Last I saw, they're, let's see, give me 1 second to look it up. A class action lawsuit is what they're calling. So they're talking about a class action lawsuit against Robinhood, because basically that's market manipulation. You can't just pick one stock and say, okay, you can't trade that, because obviously that's going to deflate the value of the stock, right? Like when I got knocked out of it, that same one that I was showing you that was now it's at like $1.39 a share. It got up over $3 a share. Literally the $50 I dropped on it turned into $500 in 2 hours. It was really messed up. It's one of those, like, it's a situation where it's like when these big multimillionaires and billionaires, when they make money playing the stock market, that's fine. They can manipulate the market, that's fine. In fact, they can manipulate the market, and if it doesn't work out for them, the government will come in and step in and bail them out. They can play funny money with people's pensions and lose all the money of their pensions, and the government will step in and bail it out. But if some regular guy like me, who's a school teacher, just trying to make a little extra coin, playing the stock market the right way, and there's nothing different than me getting advice off Reddit than it is from me watching some money show like Mad Money and taking their advice. It's the exact same principle. But when somebody like me makes money, the government's got to step in, or in this case, Robinhood steps in. Sorry, not the government. Robinhood steps in, and they shut it down, and I'm not allowed to make money. I'd love for the government to kind of step in, but it doesn't seem like. I heard AOC and Ted Cruz and a couple other people bringing it up, but I don't expect anybody to come in and step in and subsidize my losses today. So that's kind of the skinny of what happened. And again, I don't quite understand shorting stock. I've never gotten into that, but I understand, investing money in the stock market and making money. I put my money in a couple other ones. I would highly suggest Disney right now, with Disney Plus coming out. I would have said AMC, with the vaccine coming out, and AMC's got a whole slew of movies coming out, but again, you can't even trade AMC right now. Visor's another one that's kind of made me a little coin. As everybody's investing in it, getting ready for the rollout. I heard Biden, I think, bought 200 million more vaccines from Pfizer. But it's one of those, like, it's really messed up that really rich people can manipulate and destroy lives. I mean, had they pulled this off, all the employees of GameStop were out of a job. Managers, employees, all of them. They're all out of a job. The people that played Reddit and kind of took down the millionaires and billionaires, they were actually saving jobs. Like, today, somebody might have a job at GameStop because Reddit stepped in and saved it. Same thing with AMC. They're really struggling. They took out a lot of money to try to renovate and really build up their theaters. And, through no fault of their own, the pandemic comes along and really hurts them. So we'll see how this shakes out. It's really sad to see it happen in that way. We'll see what all happens. But, yeah, so, people had asked me, and that's kind of what happened today with the whole situation.